Back in the 60s, some very big hits belonged to this young lady. At the moment, she is touring around Australia with the legends of rock and roll. She's a great singer. Just mentioned some of the songs. It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want to. Judy's Turn to Cry. That's the Way Boys Are. Sunshine, Lollipops and Rainbows. And, of course, the song which really became the first anthem, I believe, for the feminist movement, You Don't Own Me. Please welcome to sing It's My Party, Miss Lesley Gore.
Keep dancing all night, but leave me alone for a while till Johnny is dancing with me. I've got no reason to smile. Oh, it's my party. I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Judy and Johnny just walk through that door like a queen with a king. Oh, what a birthday surprise. Judy is wearing his ring. Oh, it's my party. I'll cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Oh, it's my
ladies and gentlemen. Well, welcome.
Well, thank you very much.
Gosh, it's good to have you here.
Thank you. I woke myself up, too. That was nice.
Well, I suppose also with doing so many of the late night shows and getting up to do a show at this time of the day, it's a bit hard on the girl, isn't it?
Well, it's not that hard, but singing in the mornings, it does take a bit of a trick, I think.
Just listening to that song and also the other songs that I mentioned, I mean, very few people have a string of hits like that, do they?
Well, I've been very fortunate. Music has been wonderful to me. Rock and roll has been terrific to me. And my audiences have really been very supportive, both in the States, and I'm amazed to see how incredibly supportive they've been here in Australia. Really wonderful audiences.
Well, Lesley, they'd have to, that's nice.
Thank you.
They'd have to be because, I mean, some of those songs are near anthems. Now, It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want to. I think every drunk in the world has sung that at some stage of the game.
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right.
And You Don't Own Me. I mean, that really was the first real feminist song to take off as a big hit, wasn't it?
It's amazing to think of it that way, because when I first heard the song, I didn't think of it as a feminist anthem. It was a song that I just felt very strongly about in my own heart. It had the kind of strength that I felt I wanted to sing about. And of course, subsequently, the song has taken on so much more meaning in the last bunch of years.
So I'm not alone in thinking that way, that that's basically an anthem.
No, absolutely not. It's been pointed out many times, and I think that's probably accurate. Although there was a wonderful lady by the name of Helen Reddy, who hails from Australia, who had also a wonderful anthem, I Am Woman.
Yes, of course, of course. Lesley, with a tour such as this, when you're working with some pretty wild people...
Heavyweights, yes.
Yeah, just how wild is it?
Well, I'll tell you.
rock and roll has, I guess, become a little bit more establishment. There's much fewer sex, drugs, and carry-ons on. Jerry Lee and Chuck are terrific citizens today, and they still got that edge when they perform. But, you know, they take it easy pretty much during the day, and
You're
they rest
trying to tell me
up.
backstage they have a malted milk and do some knitting?
Well, maybe no malted milks, but everyone seems to be behaving themselves and also having a pretty good time.
Just thinking before, you know, when you first hit big with those songs, being an American performer, you would have been hit by the English explosion, the British explosion.
I
in America,
certainly
wouldn't you?
was.
Did it affect you?
Well, I think it affected. I think it affected music all over the world, and it certainly affected the girl groups in the States, of which I guess my music is sort of categorized in that area. As a matter of fact, when the Beatles came over in '64. I had You Don't Own Me on the charts. It was a top 10 song, and it lodged in the number 2 position for almost 7 weeks in between a Beatles song that was number 1 and a Beatles song that was number 3. So we never quite got to number 1 as a result of the British invasion.
Yeah. Also, your brother does some music writing, doesn't
He certainly does. Michael is a well-renowned composer and a producer.
Best Little Whorehouse he did?
No, actually, that's a friend of mine by the name of Carol Hall. Michael did the music for Fame, which I collaborated with him on. He did the score for a wonderful film called Terms of Endearment.
God, did he really?
Yes, he did, absolutely.
Wonderful film, wonderful music.
Thank you.
Is he younger or older?
He's a little younger than I am. There's a 4-year difference between us.
Does he perform?
He doesn't perform on stage the way I do, but I mean, he works with He's more of a backstage kind of a guy.
Lesley, in America now, what's the score for performers? Where do you work mainly? Is it concerts, cabaret?
Most of where I've been working in the last 6-7 years are concerts. I do a fair amount of concertizing in the States, and we're just getting back into clubs. It's interesting because clubs are kind of cyclic in the States. For the last bunch of years, there have been very few places to play, let's say in New York City, where I live. And I've just gotten a call recently this last week that a brand new club is opening on 45th Street and Broadway, and they've asked if I'd be interested in going in there and doing some cabaret, which I think is a wonderful idea. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. Well, it's great to have you here in Australia, and it's a terrific time to see the old rockers and people of your vintage
I just
too.
say that Kevin Jacobson and Pat Condon, who are the producers of this tour, have been absolutely remarkable. And again, I really have to thank the Australian people for supporting us and being there for us and being such great audiences.
That's lovely. Thank you, Lesley. I'm just wondering, I'd like to have a photograph taken with you, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
And we can do it actually on camera because I think it'll look rather nice, Lesley and myself there. Where's our photographer? Where is he?
House photographer.
Come on, here he is. Nice little shot. This is nothing new for me, actually. I feel quite homesick. My wife's about that size too. So. Lovely.
That's good.
Lesley Gore, ladies and gentlemen. The reason I got that in then, I thought you may have to rush away somewhere.
Very smart, very
Good
smart.
idea. Lesley Gore. And after this break, some more memories for you. The Bay City Rollers are going to be with us.